Hi, Michael Buffer here, and let's get ready for Stat Sports.
And we are back here on Stat Sports. Rob Lepelstat for ClutchPoints.com. And gosh, am I excited for this one. We're looking forward to it all week. A four-time Olympian, a nine-time gold medalist, a 21-time world champion, 16-time world record holder. A lot to talk about. The best-selling author. Really just one of the greatest Olympians of all time. Katie Ledecky, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well.
Glad to hear it. So yeah, obviously a lot to talk about, a lot to get to with you and swimming, all that. But first want to start with this partnership that you have with Panasonic and this STEM Forward initiative. Would just love to hear more about how you decided to get involved with it. And obviously I also know Michael Phelps is also an ambassador. So just some really cool things here. The STEM Forward initiative. Would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so I joined Team Panasonic in 2020 with the aim to broaden access to science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM education, and STEM career opportunities for students. And I really recognized how Panasonic has such great values, and they really share my values regarding education and contributing to society. And through this STEM Forward program and our Innovators for Impact virtual field trips, we've been able to create a lot of excitement around STEM, which has been awesome and really help students in the US and Japan understand why these skills are so essential to solve our world's challenges. So, Panasonic, it's all about providing solutions, products that will improve people's lives. And so I've been so grateful to have this opportunity with them and their STEM experts to focus in on renewable energy. And I just did a field trip in Reno with looking at the batteries that Panasonic produces. So it's just been really educational for me, and I know for all the students and so many teachers around the world that have utilized these programs and have enjoyed them.
What was that experience like being able to meet the kids and kind of just be leading forward on this initiative here with these kids to get them excited about science and technology?
It's great. I love seeing young students excited to learn. That was me. I mean, I still love to learn.
Yeah.
And so I think, a lot of people have, see me as a swimmer first and foremost, but for most of my life, I've been a student, and that's always been a priority for me. And even though I'm not in school now, I completed my degree at Stanford back in 2020, but I'm still trying to learn every day. And that's a message that I want young kids to hear, and I want them to see that even if you love a sport, even if you want to go all in on a sport, that, it's also really important to take your studies seriously. And that's why I'm just so excited whenever I get those opportunities to interact with students and teachers and convey that message.
That's right, everyone at home. Katie Ledecky said it's important to worry about your studies, so keep that in mind as you're going through.
Yeah.
So also, just why is this a cause that means so much to you? Like, why is this something that really hits home for you, STEM in general?
Yeah, just as I said, it's education has always been a priority for me, and I always want to champion STEM education and STEM careers and the development of advanced technology that allows us to live a more sustainable lifestyle. And I just want students to try to take away one or two things, and whether they take away one thing or 100 things, I think these programs really inspire students to learn new things, learn new ways to maybe go about their studies, or get them excited about a specific area. I think it's really inspiring when they get to hear from Panasonic employees that do these things on a day-to-day basis. Again, I'm always really intrigued to learn about these things. So it's a cause that means a lot to me because, as I said, education has always been important in my life. I always loved science and math
Yeah.
growing up, and I majored in psychology. And I think really I try to always connect with the students about how I even use science and technology in my swimming. I kind of see swimming as almost the scientific method. You set a goal for yourself. It's kind of like a hypothesis, and then you put in the work. You kind of lay out the steps, the procedure that you need need to go through to
course.
get to that end result. And then you swim the race and you determine, okay, did I meet this goal time or did I not? What can I do better? So even just making it simple like that, I think really resonates with the younger students. And again, it's just fun to see their faces light up when they get really hands-on with some of the activities.
Yeah, no, I really love that. Obviously, really exciting to hear about the partnership and glad you were able to go through all that. Let's shift gears just a little bit here. Obviously, you want to talk about you and your career, all those different types of things. So looking at your career, right? 9 Olympic gold medals, 14 in total, the most decorated American woman of all time. Just like, what do you think is the biggest reason for all of your success over such a long period of time?
I think it's probably the goal setting, the consistency, and the support that I've had around me. If you read my book, Just Add Water, a lot of the chapters are titled after the people in my life that have contributed to my journey, whether that's my family members, my coaches, my teammates, just all these people along the way that have allowed me to pursue my goals to the fullest and keep my life very balanced. So, again, that's another message I like to share with these students, that
Yeah.
balance has been really important in my life and I think has allowed me to determine which goals I want to go after and really put in the work for.
Yeah, you also mentioned in the book how you never really expected to ever be swimming in the Olympics. You just liked to swim and you just kept doing better and better in meets. And then you said the next meet to qualify for was the Olympics, essentially. So how do you kind of wrap your head around the whole journey that you've had over the past 12 to 15 years?
Yeah, I started swimming when I was 6 years old, and I think some Olympians say that when they first started swimming, that was what they dreamed of, and that was not me. I really just loved going to the pool every day. I loved setting those goals for myself, but I really saw it as a process, and I just always had my eyes focused on the next meet. And so, yes, when I was 14 years old, I qualified for Olympic trials, and at that point, I started thinking about, okay, what's the next thing I could achieve, what's the next goal, and naturally that was the Olympics. But if you had asked me 5 years prior to that, there's no way I could have imagined I would have made it to the 2012 Olympics when I was 15 or to 4 Olympics. I think even after my first Olympics, I had no idea what the future was going to hold, and I just take it one step at a time.
Something that I've really always admired about you and your career is I feel like you do very well under pressure. You're always calm, cool, and collected no matter what. Just how do you handle pressure in these biggest moments, these gold medal races? It doesn't really seem to phase you at all, Katie.
Well, I try to remind myself of all the work that I've put in, and I have good people around me, my coaches, my teammates that have prepared me for those moments. And when I'm in those moments, they're the ones that keep me calm, and just having them around reminds me of the work that we've put in together. So yeah, I try not to, I mean, I take things seriously, but try not to take it too
Yeah.
seriously. Try not to get too caught up in any expectations or anything like that. I stay focused on my own goals, and I do always try to remember that 6-year-old that started to swim, and I just got into the sport for fun. I again never had that dream of making it to the Olympics, so why not enjoy each opportunity that I have to represent my country and do the very best on that international stage.
Oh yeah, 100%. I want to move to obviously this past summer at the Olympics in Paris. And I just think this 2024 Paris Olympics was so special for so many reasons, obviously coming out of COVID, just the whole feel of it being in a city like Paris. Just what was your favorite part of the whole experience, whether that was in the pool, outside of the pool, the experiences? What was your favorite part of Paris 2024?
Oh, it's really hard to pick one thing. I think, of course, I have some memories from the swimming and watching my teammates succeed and my own performances. But one of the things that I really enjoyed this go around was I stayed after the swimming competition and got to cheer on some of my Team USA teammates at
The
some of the
Bobby
other.
moment that went viral.
Oh yeah, I got to cheer on my teammate that I train with every day when he broke the world record. I got to go to some of the basketball games. I went and watched one of my good Stanford friends at the golf in Versailles. So really just tried to soak it all in. Went to closing ceremonies for the first time. Was really honored to be one of the flag bearers for Team USA there. So really that week after the swimming, kind of when all of the
Yeah.
weight was lifted lifted off my shoulders, and my swimming was done, and I was happy with my performances, and I could just enjoy Paris and try to see as much of it as I could.
Was there any type of moment where maybe a fellow athlete or celebrity, someone famous came up to you and said, "Oh my God, Katie, I'm a huge fan," and you looked at them and said, "I'm a huge fan of you too"?
Yeah, there was one moment in the elevator in the Olympic Village actually where I was grabbing a snack up in our team room, and I was going back down to my room, and the elevator opened at one of the floors in between, and Coco Gauff and all of
Oh,
the women's tennis players walked
yeah,
in,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we took a picture and had probably 30 seconds with each other to just, wish each other good luck, and yeah, kind of tell each other how big of fans we are of each other. And you kind of get that all week, whether it's in the village cafeteria or in the elevator or wherever it is. I think there's so much respect that we have for each other as fellow athletes, fellow Team USA athletes. We're just always trying to support each other, even if we're in different sports. We all have one eye on the TV whenever we have that opportunity to see how they're performing.
I'm just curious, if you weren't a swimmer, do you think there's any other Olympic sport that you could do well in or anything like that? Or do you have any other thing you might be dabbling in?
Well, I played a little bit of basketball and soccer growing
Okay.
up, so those are the two I'm probably most familiar with. But I don't know. I think I might just with the background of kind of goal setting and the individual sport kind of thing. I think if I ever tried golf, maybe that would be a good one, or tennis. But again, I don't have too much experience there.
Yeah, no, all good. Just curious. Yeah, I think golf is tough for everyone, right? Whether you're a professional or not, it's one of those sports which is really difficult.
Right, right.
Cool. So yeah, you obviously we kind of talked this at the beginning, but if I just told you, if I went back in a time machine, right, and I told you back in Bethesda as a kid that everything you would accomplish in your swimming career, what would you have said to me? Would you have called me crazy? Would you have believed it at all?
Yeah, I probably would have had a hard time believing. I again, my very first goal when I was 6 years old was just to make it across the pool without having to grab the lane rope and wipe my nose. So, I've come a long way. I think just like any swimmer, you have to start from somewhere. So, yeah, it was just all about goal setting for me from a young age, and never pictured I would have swum in 4 Olympics and working toward a fifth.
Oh, whoa, that's a good segue right there. So you said working towards a fifth. Obviously, a lot of people wondering LA 2028 on home soil in the U.S. What is the likelihood, Katie, that we will see you representing the U.S.? And obviously everyone is very excited for the potential of that.
I would love to have that opportunity. I'm back into training. There's a lot between now and 2028. There will be a few world championships and some national level meets that I'll try to compete at. So I'm going to take it a year at a time. But
Yeah.
right now my goal is to be there in LA competing, and I think it's such a unique opportunity that I think a lot of U.S. swimmers see it as something that could be really exciting for all of us to experience. So I know it'll be motivating a lot of U.S. swimmers over the next 4 years. So I know it'll be tough to even make the Olympic team again. So I never take anything for granted. I know it's going to be a lot of hard work, and I'm just going to continue to take it day by day, give my best effort in training, and we'll see what happens.
What would that mean to you just to win that gold if we are there standing on that podium, gold medal in the US? What would that mean to you?
I mean, of course, it would be incredible. But I think even if I come away with no medals, I think just
Yeah.
having the opportunity to compete in that environment is just going to be second to none. I mean, just seeing how the French athletes, experience that in front of their home crowd in Paris. I think we all got a little taste of what that could look like for us. I mean, we had so many Americans in the stands even in Paris. So if you just kind of like tenfold that, what that
Yeah.
could be in LA, it would be amazing. And of course, I would want to try to win some medals for Team USA. But even just getting to experience that, I know it would be a major pinch me moment.
I'm definitely curious. So for you, like what's the moment when you would know, like, hey, I can do this. Like, I am good to go for LA 2028. Like going into the qualifiers. Like, how do you know? Like, do you know? Like, what's that moment when you'll know? Like, okay, I still got it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, as I said, there'll be a lot of meets between now and LA. There's a World Championships this next summer in
Yep.
Singapore that I'll probably be working toward. There'll be a World Championships the year prior to the Olympics in 2027. So those are kind of good gauges of where you're at internationally. But then even beyond that, there'll be tons of national level meets as well between now and LA. So I'll kind of know who my competition is over these next few years, kind of get some good race experience moving in that direction. But yeah, I'm still kind of coming off of Paris, getting back into training, and over the next several months, I'll start laying out a plan for the next few years.
Definitely. So obviously you talk about the training, everything you do, whether it's how many times you swim per day. Just when you have some free time, what do you like to do outside of the pool?
Yeah, well, I love doing a lot of the things that most people enjoy doing. As I said, I consider myself a lifelong learner, so I love to read. And then, in between practice, I like to cook. I've got to eat, so I like cooking healthy meals for myself, baking every now and then. But then, of course, just hanging out with my family and friends, and I play the piano a little bit. Have done that for a long time, so try to keep my mind off of swimming sometimes, when I'm out of the water, and do all the things out of the water that'll, contribute to my success in my next practice or my next meet. It's all about recovery and again, just keeping that balance in my life as well.
Definitely, 100%. Before I get you out of here, very curious about this. Just who would be on your all-time Mount Rushmore of American Olympians all time?
You know what? That's too hard of a judgment. There are too many great Olympians cutting across so many sports. I think that would call upon me to elevate one sport over another, one era over another, in terms of standards of excellence.
Yeah,
I think in my viewpoint, most Olympians don't set out to be a figure carved in stone.
yeah.
They set out to perform for other reasons. So, I'm so grateful that I've gotten to meet so many Olympians across all sports, as I said, that I think really represent our country well, support each other, and really even across the years. I'm friends with swimmers that competed in the 1960s, and to get a text message from them when I'm out competing these days, that just is so special to me, and something that I don't take for granted. So I'm not going to give you four names, but I respect so many different athletes, and as I said earlier, just always cheering on my fellow teammates.
Gosh, only other thing I would say, is there anyone that you maybe really enjoyed watching growing up? Like, who are your favorites growing up when you were watching the Olympics?
Well, I mean, I talked in my book about how I went to a national level meet when I was just 6 years old, starting out in the sport. There was a nationals in Maryland, and I got to meet Michael Phelps there. And I think the 2004 Olympics in Athens was probably the first one that I was really watching fully the swimming, and so many great athletes there that I've gotten to know over the years and
Yeah.
looked up to. There were a lot of great female distance swimmers actually from Maryland. So I had a very up close look at swimmers like Katie Hoff and Kate Ziegler, and just really admired how they went about their training and competition, and always wanted to try to get to that stage. But again, didn't think it was possible until
Yeah.
I got really close.
So, Katie, it's amazing what you're doing in the pool, amazing what you're doing outside of the pool. Appreciate your time, and obviously best of luck as you prepare for LA 2028. Really great to meet you, and best of luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rob.
Have a good one.
Thank you.